Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about different types of steel sections that are manufactured in various industries, which are mentioned in Steel Tables Part 1. So now, as we discussed previously in Steel Tables, it is mentioned about the manufactured steel sections in various industries like steel plants, sail, etc. So now, what are the steel sections that are going to be manufactured? So write down first. Rolled steel I section or beam. So obviously in our civil engineering, I section is a synonym for beam. So wherever the beam is there, in all those locations we are going to use I section. Rolled steel I section. Next. Rolled steel channel section. Third. Rolled steel T section. Fourth. Rolled steel angles. Fifth. Rolled steel tube sections. Rolled steel tube sections. Six. Rolled steel bars. 7. Rolled steel flats. 8. Rolled steel plates. And 9. Rolled steel sheets. So these are the sections we are going to use in our steel structures. Okay, in the construction of steel, in the construction by using steel, these are the members we are going to use. So regarding these members only, in steel table, regarding this member only, it is mentioned. So in the steel table, each and every detail about this, each of these members is going to mention. Agree? So take it down. So these are the members we are going to use in our steel structures. Now, before going into the detailing of each and every member, so if you observe, everywhere we know what is steel and what is I section. So this is the shape I, channel C, T, so T section, angle L, tube, so hollow, bar, solid, flat. So all these are the shapes. And steel, we know what is steel. Now what is meant by rolled? Everywhere it is mentioned that rolled. So now what is meant by rolled? So let us see that what is meant by rolled, and after that we'll go to the each and every section in detailing. So what is mentioned in the steel table we'll see. So coming to the rolled. So take an I section as an example. So generally how the I section looks like, or what is the cross sectional shape? So the cross sectional shape of I section is like this. So this is how the cross section of I. So we are having the sharp edges. But in real or in practicality, the I sections what we are going to use are not like this. So they don't have sharp edges, okay? They don't have sharp edges, but rather they are round edged. It means. So this is the part here. Here we are going to direct the area at the edges like this. And here we are going to increase the area. So it means area at the junction of flange and web is increased, and area here it is rounded edge. So it means finally how the shape. Now the dotted line is the shape of the I section what we are going to use in our design of steel structures. So finally this cross section is modified like this. So this is how the shape of the eye, what we are going to use in our design of steel structures. So this is the shape. So see here the rounded edges, not sharp edges. And that too, if you remember how the stress vary linearly. So the maximum at the extreme fiber. So that is why the maximum area is provided at the extreme fibers. But gradually the area is decreased if you proceed towards the junction. And at the junction area is increased. The reason the load from the flange is transferred to the web. So now chances are there for this web here at this junction to buckle or fail. So to prevent that failure, we are increasing the area. So that increase in area at the junction of web and flange is known as pillet. So this is known as pillet here. This increase in area. So the increase in area at the junction of web and flange is known as pillet. So that is why they are called as rolled. So all the sections what we are going to use in our design of steel structures are called as rolled steel sections. The reason they are going to be rolled like this. Okay, it means the rounded edges and increase in area at the junctions. So that is why the word rolled is used. Clear? So take it down. So pillet, so write down the definition of pillet. Increase in area at the junction of web and flange is called pillet. So what is the purpose of providing the pillet? So pillet reduces the stress concentration. Pillet reduces stress concentration. Pillet reduces the stress concentration, thereby prevents the web crippling failure. See, what is web crippling failure? I will explain in detail when we are discussing the design of beams. Okay. So just as of now, you write down what is pillet. So pillet is nothing but increase in area at the junction of web and flange is called as pillet. And then pillet reduces the stress concentration, thereby prevents the web crippling failure. So stress concentration. So for example, if you take a practical example, so take any bridge. So obviously bridge is also nothing but a continuous beam. Okay, bridge is nothing but a continuous beam. So the on which the vehicles move, that is known as beam. So that we call as a girder or deck. So that girder or deck is nothing but a beam. So now beam is placed on the pillars, or we call it as a PS, columns. So now where this girder is placed on the pier or pillar, at that location the area of the pier is increased. Have you seen it or not? The reason to prevent stress concentration. The reason, see, this is a pillar and this is a gutter. So if it is placed like this, so immediately heavy concentrated loads are going to be transmitted by this gutter to this pier. Now chances are there for the failure at this junction. Okay, local failure. That is known as local failure. So the crippling is nothing but local failure. Take place at the junction only. So chances are there for this failure. Why? Because heavy load is being transferred by the gutter to this pier at this location. So now at this location, if you increase the area, what happens? The stress concentration will reduces. Okay, distribution of stress will take place so that the failure can be prevented. The same concept here also. So whatever the concept we are using in bridges, it means increasing the area of the pier at the location of the gutter. Okay, at the location of the where the gutter is placed on the pillar. The same concept here also. So upon increasing the area, what we are doing? We are reducing the stress concentration, thereby preventing the failure known as web crippling failure. So as I said, regarding this web crippling failure, what is web crippling failure? We'll discuss it in design of beams. So take it on. So after that, we'll discuss about each and every section in detail. First, rolled steel I section. So keep writing rolled steel I section. So just now we discussed why they are called as rolled. So rolled steel I section. So regarding this I section, in steel table, it is mentioned about I section as like this. So or it represents or it designates I section in steel table like this. So I section is designated as I section is designated by its overall depth and weight. What does it mean? Example. So regarding I section, this is how it is mentioned in the steel table. IS LB 500 at the rate 735.8 Newton meter. So if you open a steel table, so in that steel table regarding this I section, this is how it is mentioned. So what is ISLB? Indian Standard Light Beam of 500 overall depth. At rate means at 735.8 Newton per meter. So per meter length, how much weight it is having? 735.8. Okay. And the overall depth is known as 500 mm. So the overall depth is 500 mm. This is how the regarding I section it is mentioned in the steel table. And the diagram is also mentioned. So if you observe the diagram of I section, so this is I section. So now in this, the overall depth is nothing but top to bottom extreme fibers. Okay, distance between top to bottom extreme fibers. So this is overall depth. We represent capital D or small d. So this is D. So D in this example is 500 mm. Clear? And so there exists an axis like this. Okay, so this axis is known as XX. So that axis is known as XX. XX and this axis is known as YY. So here this XX axis is known as major axis. So why it is called as a major axis, I'll explain. And YY is known as minor axis. Okay, so now for this section here where the CG and SC lies, CG comma SC. So what is CG SC? So CG is nothing but center of gravity. And SC is shear center. So regarding the center of gravity and shear center, we are going to discuss in strength of materials and even in engineering mechanics. So coming to the no need of explanation of CG, but coming to the SC shear center. So it is a point along which if the external load is passing, then there exists no torsional moments or no twisting moments in that given cross section. So there the CG lies for this cross section. And every detailing like, so this is known as width of the flange, P suffix F. Okay, and this is known as thickness of the flange, TF. Okay, and then so this is known as thickness of the web, TW. So that is known as the thickness of the web, TW. So like that, every detailing about this cross section is mentioned. And under this cross section, even more detailing is given, like AG. Okay, gross area. So AG is nothing but gross area. See, if these edges are sharp, then we can calculate area easily. So this is one rectangle, another rectangle, 3 rectangles. Two horizontal and to those two horizontal rectangles are called as flange and the vertical rectangle is called as web. But here the edges are rounded, so we cannot calculate the area directly. So it is little complicated. So the area will be mentioned in the steel table, area required. So in previously we have explained how we are going to use the all three tables. So there we are going to provide some area. Area provided. That area provided should be greater than or equal to area required. So this is that area provided. So regarding this is mentioned gross area, and then width of the flange, thickness of the flange, and thickness of the web, overall depth. Okay, major axis, minor axis, CG, SG, everything is mentioned. In the same way, moment of inertia, Ixx is mentioned. So similarly, Zxx also section modulus, and Iyy is also mentioned. Similarly, Zyy. So like that, every detailing of the I section is being mentioned in that code book, in that IS handbook number 1 or steel tables, and it is represented. So at the top it is represented like this: ISLB 500 at the rate 735.98 Newton per meter on the top. It is represented like this, and the diagram is given. So we have to see the diagram and we have to select it. Now coming to the major and minor axis, what is the concept behind that major and minor axis? What is the concept behind that major and minor axis? So if a particular axis is called as major axis, then so this I am going to explain by using a concept called as principal stresses and strains. So this is a concept of strength of materials. In strength of materials, I guess you have discussed about principal stresses. So when a stress, normal stress is called as principal stress, what is the condition? So when a normal stress to be called as a principal stress, then shear stress acting on those planes or axis should equal to 0. Yes or no? That is the condition for a stress to be called as principal stresses. In the same way, for an axis to be called as major and minor axis, in the same way, the axis along which the major principal stress act is known as major principal axis, and the axis along which the minor principal stress act is known as minor principal axis. In the same way, for axis to be called as major axis and minor axis, if along a particular axis the moment of inertia is maximum, then that axis is known as major axis. And if a particular axis the moment of inertia is minor, then that is known as minor axis. And first of all, what is the condition for the axis to be called as major or minor axis or principal axis? So there in case of principal stresses, shear stress should equal to 0. Here in case of moment of inertia, the product of moment of inertia should equal to 0. Okay, it means see what it is. So I guess you know the concept of moment of inertia, but just I'll explain. So this I'm going to rub. So first you take it down. Okay, so this I'm going to rub. So this is axis X and Y. So this is some irregular area. Okay. Area is dA. Now this is at a distance of Y from here, and it is at a distance of X from here, and this is R. So now Ixx in this case is equal to how much? Integral, so about this axis, so y square dA. Now Iyy integral x square dA, and polar moment of inertia Ip is equal to actual Ixx plus Iyy. That is a perpendicular axis theorem. Iyy, so which is equal to integral r square dA. Agree or not? So this is the polar moment of inertia about xx, and moment of inertia about yy. Now what is product of inertia? So the product of inertia so we are going to represent product of inertia with Ixy. So now Ixy is equal to integral xy dA. So this is how it is defined. So product of inertia is defined like this. So as I said, this is the concept of strength of materials, but here we are going to use this. That is the reason I have revised it. Clear? So now if this Ixy is equal to 0, then that particular axis are known as major axis and minor axis, and the moment of inertia about those axes can be either maximum or minimum. That is the condition. So here obviously the product of inertia about x and y is 0. That is why x is called as major, and we know that overall depth is more than this width. That is why the moment of inertia about x-axis is more in comparison to y-y. So x-axis is called as major axis and y-y is known as minor axis. Now here there is a small logic to find out just by seeing whether the product of inertia will be 0 or not. So the small logic, a small technique. So the technique is, if a given cross section, so here it is a I section. So but cross section shapes may be rectangular, channel means C, or I, or angle that is L, T. So whatever may be the shape. So for all those shapes, if the given cross section is symmetrical about both the coordinate axes, that is x and y, then the product of inertia about those axes is 0. Then obviously those coordinate axes only consider the major and minor axis. Okay. See, not in all the cases the cross section should be symmetrical about both the axes. If a given cross section is symmetrical about any one of the given coordinate axes, that is either y or x. If we take a channel C, okay, C section. So for this section, it is not symmetrical about. So C. So it is symmetrical about only x, but not about y. Agree or not? About y, it is not symmetrical, but it is symmetrical about x. So obviously the product of inertia about x and y is 0. That is xy is 0. Then here x is considered as major and y is considered as minor. So in that way, just by seeing the shape of the cross section, if a given cross section is symmetrical about both the axes, then product of inertia is 0. Or else, if it is symmetrical about any one of the coordinate axes, then also the product of inertia is 0. So if product of inertia is 0 along the coordinate axis, then they are considered as major and minor axis. It means moment of inertia about those axes is either minimum or max. And one more thing. So this is a mathematical definition of a moment of inertia. This is how we are going to derive the formula for moment of inertia. Based on this only, for rectangular cross section, what is the moment of inertia about xx? It is bd cube by 12. Okay, width b and depth d. What is the moment of inertia about y? So it is b cube d by 12. So these formulas we are going to get by using this form. So we can say this is a mathematical definition or mathematical representation of moment of inertia. So now my question is, what is the physical importance of moment of inertia? Why we are going to use moment of inertia? What is its physical importance? Don't think. Of course, we are going to use in our civil engineering these moment of inertia in each and every concept, and in most of the formulas we are going to use moment of inertia. If you take the formula in pure bending, that is flexure, m by I, so there itself I is there. If you take formula in torsion, T by IP, there itself I is there. So like that, in most of the formulas what we are going to study, be it in a structure or non-structure, we are going to use I. So now what is the significance and why we are using physical significance I want. So this is a mathematical significance or formula, but I want physical significance of this moment of inertia. Why we are going to use it? So think. So now moment of inertia, its physical significance is, it is the resistance to the rotation. Okay, moment of inertia's physical significance is, it is a resistance to the rotation. It means, for example, for a given cross section and about a particular axis, moment of inertia is more. Then along that axis, that cross section is difficult to rotate. It means here along x-axis, moment of inertia is more in comparison with y-y. So now for this I section, rotating along x-axis is difficult in comparison with y-y. So rotating along x-axis means, so this is the I. So see. So assume that this is I section. Okay. So x-axis rotation is nothing but like this. If you rotate like this, this is x-axis rotation along axis. So this is the axis. So it is going to rotate like this. Y-y is nothing but like. So for this I section, rotating along y-y is more simplified, or it is more simple than rotating along x-axis. So now from this we can say that is a very important thing. So from this we can say that moment of inertia is nothing but resistance to the rotation. So in the same way, wherever because of external load the cross section is rotating, in all those cases the moment of inertia coming into the picture. Agree? So that is why the bending, in bending also that is the rotation, that is why I is come. So I is in the formula. Even in twisting, so twisting also the moment, there also rotation is going to take place. There also I is in the case, or I is in the formula. So that is the significance. Agree? So in this way, the everything about the section is mentioned. And one more thing here you should observe, I section is the best section as a beam. Why? So this also, I guess the reason for this is you have discussed it in strength of material. So the section modulus of for a given area and weight. Okay, for a given area, cross section area and weight, I section will have the maximum value of section modulus Z in comparison with any other shape. So based on that, we are going to use I as a beam. So now there may be a doubt, as I said previously, we are going to use I section as synonym for beam. But in steel section, we are going to use I shape. Okay, clear. But in concrete, if you see, or in the room in which you are sitting or wherever you are staying, wherever the concrete structure is there, in all those cases, the beam is rectangular in shape. Yes, sir? But I said the beam is I section. We are going with the best section for beam is I section, or I section can be used as a synonym for beam. Yes, sir? Then why we are using rectangular section? Being a I section is providing the I section in the place of beam is the best efficient technically. But still, by knowing this fact also, why in a concrete structure we are going to use the rectangular section beams? Think once, think. Why? No doubt, I section is the best efficient in beam, or resisting the bending, in resisting the flexure or bending. I section is the best efficient section. By knowing this fact also, we are using rectangular cross sections in RCC structure. It means the room in which you are sitting, or the room in which you are staying, or in your house, wherever it is, the shape of the beam in RCC is rectangle. Why? Why we are using rectangle? See, you may think that because of placing problem or whatever it may be. See, we are going to design T beams and L beams in RCC. So for that, we are going to place a scaffolding. So that is not a big issue. So by placing a scaffolding in the shape of I or L or T, we are going to get that shape. So placing is not an issue. Why? Because here the main issue is why we are providing the structure. The provided structure should take the loads without failure, or safely they should take the load, and they should serve the purpose, or throughout the design life, it should take that loads without failure. That is the main purpose. So for that purpose, if you provide I section as a beam, so it will serve the purpose more efficiently, more effectively. But still, by knowing this fact also, we are not using I. We are providing rectangle only. Why the reason? So tell me, think once, think. So let us draw the shape. So if we take if we see the cross section of a beam, concrete beam, so rectangular. So this is the cross section. So here, in between the steel rods or bars are embedded like this. So this is the cross section of a rectangular. Okay, this is the cross section of a beam, a rectangular cross section of a concrete beam. Okay, so in this beam, this total is concrete, and here these rounded are bars. Okay, so they are perpendicular. So the length is perpendicular to the board. So this is a cross section I have shown. So if we convert the steel in terms of concrete or concrete in terms of steels, that we convert by using a modular ratio. We know that just now we have discussed that the introduction of these, so introduction to the steel structures, we have discussed in advantage the first point, the strength of the steel is more. Yes or no? So for a same load, for a load P, so for a load P, to take that load, as the strength of steel is more, so we have to provide the lesser cross section in comparison with concrete. The reason the strength is more, so less area. But the concrete we have to provide more area. So that is why the more concrete area and less steel area because of strength. So now if we convert the concrete into steel or steel into concrete, then what will happen? So if we convert this steel in terms of concrete, and one more thing here, if you actually this is RCC concept, but listen. So this is called as cover, effective cover. So the main function of cover in RCC is to prevent the corrosion of this reinforcement. Obviously, the steel is made up of so reinforcement, and we are going to provide the reinforcement. It means to make it stronger. So that reinforcement we are going to provide by using steel. So obviously we know that steel, the major disadvantage of steel is corrosion. So to prevent that corrosion, so here the cover, the main function of cover is to provide, main function of here this part is to protect the steel from environment. It means to protect it from corrosion, so that the steel will function effectively. So now this as I said, the main function of this cover is to protect the steel. So now eliminate that. Other than that, it is have no other structural function, the cover. So the main function of this covering is to protect the reinforcement. So now how it can be shown technically. So this is how the given section is going to modify. So eliminating the cover. So this is how the section we are getting. So after this, convert the steel in terms of concrete or concrete in terms of steel. So now first let us convert steel in terms of concrete. So if we convert steel in terms of concrete, then area will increase or not? So as I said, steel is having more strength. So to take the same load, we have to provide lesser area in comparison with concrete. So now if we convert, how it is going to modify? So this is the steel in terms of concrete. So now observe, by looking this section may be rectangular, but its function like a I section. Okay, the concrete beams, what we are going to see in our, or what we are going to provide in the concrete structures, the beams, the rectangular sections, what we are going to provide in RCC is seems to be a, or looks like a rectangle, but their function is I section. They function like I section. So this is the steel in terms of concrete. So if we convert the concrete, so this is the steel in terms of concrete. So if we convert the concrete in terms of steel, then obviously area will decrease. So it means like this. So as I said, the beams that what we are going to provide in RCC, they seems like a rectangle, but their function is, or their structural function is I. So they function like a I. Agree? So that is the thing. So mainly, once I repeat, I section can be used as a synonym for beam. So why? Because for a given area and weight, I section is the best efficient in resisting the bending or flexure. Okay? So take it up.